Alright everyone, let's talk about a new tool from Google DeepMind called Antigravity. And get this, we're going to see how it builds a complete working app starting with just a single sentence. So let's kick things off with a pretty big question. Because the whole idea behind this thing is, what if a web application was as easy as just asking for it? I mean, just describing what you want, and there it is. That's the wild premise that we are going to explore today. So, what is anti-gravity? Anti-gravity is a totally new kind of toolbox, one that is designed to weave AI into literally every single part of a developer's day. It completely rethinks how we build stuff. It is not just a chatbot. Think of it more like a complete integrated workshop. It pulls together on an AI agent manager, a really smart code editor, and its own special browser all into one seamless product. To get how this really works, you have to understand the three main pillars of this workspace. Google calls them the three work surfaces. This is basically your AI powered work center. First is the agent manager. That's kind of like your mission control for all your AI agents. Second is the AI editor. This is where you, the human, can jump in, take over, and write or tweak any code with AI helping you out. Third is the browser. This is special agentware version of Chrome that the AI uses to automatically test the app. Now, let's build a demo. We are going to build a real app. The mission? A flight tracker that can look up a flight info and even hook into your Google Calendar. The prompt is going to be, let's use some fake mock data to build a Next.js web app to look up flights. That's it. One single sentence. The workflow looks pretty cool. Once the agent gets the prompt, it doesn't just start spitting out code like any other AI bot. No, it is really actually methodical. First, it creates a plan, basically figuring out its strategy. Second, it generates all the code and the files. Third, after the code has been generated, it fires up the local server to run the app. And fourth, to top it all off, it automatically tests the UI it just built. Smart, right? Talking about transparency is something I feel is absolutely crucial. How do you trust an AI to build your app? Well, Antigravity tackles this head on with transparency. It's not just a black box. You can see what it's thinking and doing every step of the way using something Google calls artifacts. The first artifact is the task list, the agent's to-do list. The second artifact is the implementation plan, a report on what it will do before it makes any changes. The third artifact is the walkthrough, a summary of what it did and how it verified the work. It's a complete paper trail. The integrated browser just completely shines. The agent doesn't just write code and call it a day. It actually tests it. It opens up the app we just built, types a flight number info into the input field, and checks to see if the UI works. All on its own. It's a wild thing to watch. Let's also talk about AI multitasking. This is where you feel like you have superpowers. You can actually have the agent working on multiple things for you at the same time in the background. We are talking true multitasking. This is done by something called as parallel jobs. For our little flight tracker app, let's give the agents two jobs in parallel. We'll tell it to go research a real flight data API to replace the mock stuff. And also, can you design a few logo mockups for the app? Just like that, using Google's latest image models, the Nano Banana, the agent comes up with a bunch of logo options. We asked for a few different vibes: minimalist, classic aviation and calendar theme. And you can see it has been delivered. Not bad for a background task. But remember, while it was whipping up those logos, it was also working on the other task. And it wasn't just doing a quick Google search. It was reading documentation, running test curl commands, searching for API keys, basically figuring out the exact shape of the data. It's doing all the tedious upfront research for us. So now let's talk about how you get to the finish line. Because this is really about human AI collaboration. The point isn't to replace the developer, it's to create this powerful partnership. The agent has done all the heavy lifting on the API research. So now the developer can step back into the editor, take control, swapping out the mock data for the real API. And this is where things get really, really cool. It's seen the agent's research, so you know the editor is context aware. And now it knows all about the new API. The moment the developer deletes the mock data, the editor suggests the exact code needed to call the live API. You just hit tab and you are done. Okay, so the live data is now flowing. Now for the grand finale. Let's hand one last pretty complex task back over to the agent. We want a save to the calendar button. This button adds the flight to a user's Google Calendar. We just need to ask the AI editor to add this button to the UI. And we can literally watch it in real time as the agent figures out how to build the Google Calendar link, write the code for the feature, and then, you guessed it, open the browser and test its own work. It clicks the flight, sees the Google Calendar pop up, and verifies that the whole thing is working from start to finish. So let's just recap. In what, a couple of minutes, we have gone from a single sentence all the way to a deployed working app, from zero to a finished POC. Now, for the final touch, the cherry on top, the agent even writes the git commit message for you. It looks at the whole conversation and all the code changes and generates a perfect context-aware commit. That is absolutely, completely helpful to all developers. So, in conclusion, the team behind Antigravity is pretty clear about their vision. They really believe that this is the new way for developers to get work done. A future of collaboration. Which of course leaves us with a huge question to think about. Is this the end of coding as we know it? Or is this a new beginning? A new, way more powerful way to create things?